Hello and welcome. Today we're going to dive into one of the biggest mysteries out there. What actually happens in our minds during those last few moments before death? It's a question that sits right at the intersection of science, philosophy, and, well, the very definition of consciousness. So let's just start with this one powerful idea. Imagine you have only 10 seconds left. Not 10 seconds to act, but 10 seconds to understand, to figure out where your mind is going right before everything ends. It's a huge question, and what's wild is that science is actually starting to give us some pretty astonishing clues. Let's see what they're telling us. You know, we tend to think of death as just flipping a switch, right? 1 second you're here, the next you're not. But the evidence, it's pointing to something way more complex and honestly, a lot more spectacular happening in those final seconds. Now here is where it gets really interesting and totally counterintuitive. Instead of just shutting down and fading to black, the brain seems to ignite. It goes into this state of super heightened activity. It's like this one final brilliant surge of awareness, almost like it's getting ready for something else. So, what is actually going on at a biological level? This isn't just guesswork. This is based on real observable data. Scientists have literally detected a massive electrical storm roaring to life inside a dying brain. And at the very heart of all this are these things called gamma waves. Okay, so gamma waves are the absolute fastest brain waves our mind can produce. We see them pop up when someone is intensely focused or in a state of deep meditation, or even when you're in the middle of a really vivid dream. The key takeaway here is these are waves of high-level consciousness. And this just shows you how truly strange this final moment is. The brain, right at the very edge of death, suddenly enters a state of highly organized peak electrical activity. It's a state that looks almost identical to someone experiencing a profound moment of consciousness, not someone who's shutting down. It's a total paradox. This incredible discovery really forces our hand. We have to ask this monumental question. If the brain is having this unbelievably lucid, organized experience, what is that experience? Where is it taking our consciousness in those last moments? Well, this discovery has basically led to two fascinating and very different theories. Is this final burst of brain power creating a world from the inside? Or is it tapping into a world that's already out there, one we just can't normally see? So the first theory suggests that the brain just turns completely inward. It generates one last, super realistic simulation. It's like it's weaving together a whole lifetime of memories, images, and feelings into one final, incredibly vivid dream, a whole universe created just for that one last journey. But then there's the other idea, and this one is a bit more radical. What if the brain isn't creating anything at all? This theory proposes that our brain is simply unlocking a door, that it's acting like a portal to another dimension of existence that's been there all along, just sitting right outside our normal perception. You could kind of think of it like a cosmic waiting room. In those 10 seconds, the mind is just suspended. It's caught between the world it's leaving and whatever might come next. It's not quite here, but it's not quite there either. It's just in a state of pure transition. And this is where we get into some even more mind-bending stuff. We're going to step out of pure biology for a second and into the world of theoretical physics. Because what if consciousness isn't just about brain chemistry? What if that electrical storm is a sign of something much, much bigger? Think about it. What if consciousness isn't just a product of our neurons? Some physicists actually theorize that it's a quantum system. And from that point of view, death isn't an end. It's more like a disconnection. The quantum information that makes you you basically detaches from your body and could then reconnect to some bigger universal field of awareness. The source material gives us this really powerful metaphor for it. Is it possible our individual consciousness gets uploaded to a kind of cloud for the soul, a place where all minds, all awareness eventually merge back into one? Just try to imagine what a reality like that would even be like. A state of being totally separate from our physical senses. No time, no space, no light, no sound as we understand them. Just pure, unfiltered awareness. Okay, so this all leads us to the final, and maybe the most profound part of this whole exploration. It's a set of questions that's going to challenge everything we think we know about time, reality, and, well, this very moment, right now. what if, from the brain's own subjective point of view, those last 10 seconds aren't 10 seconds at all? We know time is relative. For a mind that's lit up by that huge burst of gamma waves, those few moments could stretch out into a lifetime, maybe even an eternity. And if we take that idea just one step further, if that final moment can feel like an eternity, then how would you ever know that you aren't in it right now? This entire, complicated, beautiful life you think you're living, what if all of it is just unfolding inside that one final, infinite burst of consciousness? And that's the ultimate thought to leave you with. Perhaps our entire lives are a kind of dream, and those 10 seconds aren't the end at all, but the complete opposite. Maybe that final burst of gamma waves is the one and only moment we ever truly wake up.